All right, today we're going to go over accentuate the negative investigation 3.2, which is further integer multiplication and coming up with an algorithm or strategy for multiplying two integers together. So let's take a look at this question real quick, which asks us, which of the following products will have the same value? Well, from yesterday, we should know that all of these will equal 20 in some way, shape, or form. So I'm just going to write a 20 underneath all of them because 4 times 5 is 20. The difference is whether or not it's going to be positive or negative. So in this case, we have two positives, positive 4 times a positive 5. Therefore, my answer is positive. Right here, we have positive 4 times a negative 5. And I know from yesterday that a negative times a positive equals a negative. Right here, we have a negative 4 times a positive 5, and therefore we also wind up with a negative answer. In our last one, negative 4 times a negative 5 equals a positive 20. So the positive times the positive and the negative times the negative will have the same value. And then these two in the middle, the negative times the positive and the positive times the negative, will also have the same value. So let's take a look at the algorithm or the steps for coming up with the answer for two rational numbers, either positive or negative or a combination of the two. So for C1, we're going to take a look at the description of an algorithm for multiplying two positive rational numbers. So let's just simply state that when we multiply two rational numbers, that number would be a product, so that the product of two positive rational numbers is positive. Okay? And then let's take a look at C2. So I'll write this one in a different color. So C2, and it says describe an algorithm for multiplying a positive rational number and a negative rational number. All right, so again, we're going to just keep the same format and say that the product of a negative rational number and a positive rational number is what? Well, if I look up to my work from before, these two, the positive rational times the negative rational, or the negative rational times the positive, one of each would make the product negative. Okay, and then finally C3, describe an algorithm for multiplying a negative rational number and a negative rational number. Well, if I remember from the question up here, two negatives equals a positive. And we kind of went over that yesterday, so we're just simply going to write that the product of two negative rational numbers is negative. All right, so now that we have this down, and it kind of restates kind of what we did yesterday, we should be able to multiply any set of numbers together and then be able to find the sign of our answer. That's usually the most confusing part when dealing with integer multiplication. So before coming to class tomorrow, I would like for you to complete, question A on page 58 before coming to class tomorrow. All right, so take a look at page 58, get that question A solved it's going to have you do some thinking on positive and negative number multiplication and kind of go back through this. Make sure that you have the three algorithms or the three statements that we just wrote also in your spiral so that you have those when you need them. See everyone in class.